Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the next terrifying episode of Random Rhapsodies, Sonnet of Blood. I am Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and game master for this Curse of Strahd playthrough. And joining me around my virtual table tonight are Brandie, Dyto, Joe, and Natalie. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Now, before we begin, we do have a few announcements to get through, starting with the first of our two sponsors for tonight's show, Hero Forge. Hero Forge offers fully customizable tabletop minis with dozens of fantasy species and thousands of parts to choose from. Their easy-to-use design tool lets you build your perfect miniature online using a fully 3D in-depth character creator right in your web browser, which is where we built the tokens for this game. You can build yours today at HeroForge.com. Our second sponsor for tonight's show is XSplit. XSplit is a high-quality virtual webcam background remover that works with your already existing webcam. Using this program, you can protect your privacy while you work or play remotely by blurring the background, removing it entirely, or even putting your favorite picture as the background instead. You can download the app today at xsplit.com, and if you use the coupon code RANDOM with a capital R, you can get 10% off of your purchase. You can find our referral link in the chat and show descriptions. Last but not least, next Monday, we have another episode of the Aethertech Wars. Our heroes are in a little bit of a pickle because one of their own has, gone and run amok. And the rest of them are stuck in front of the mayor of the town. It's going to be really a lot of fun. So definitely come check that out. Now you can keep up to date on our schedule and everything we do here on the network by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV, on Twitter as @random_rhapsody, on Blue Sky as Random Rhapsody, and on TikTok as Random Rhapsody_TV. And that's going to do it for our announcements. So join us as we dive into the land of Barovia and continue on with the Conclave expedition as they attempt to survive. A Sonnet of Blood! And we're back. So, you know how we do our recaps. We offer up the Random Rhapsody coin, which is good for a free Nat 20. And whoever does the recap gets that coin. If I do the recap, I'm going to get the coin, and I'm definitely going to use it. And I really want to. It would be a lot of fun to get a Nat 20 whenever I feel like it. But my players like to steal it from me. So, who wants to steal it from me today?
That'll be me.
Okay. Well, Vide, tell us what happened last time on Sonnet of Blood.
Well, I've stared into that pure black void once before. Many others have as well, and not many have come back. But that void, it has nothing on this creepy-ass town. At least the void doesn't smile at you. We started our morning by heading out to find a blacksmith. Keeping with that creepy theme, we found the town's people building a pyre in the middle of a square. Not at all ominous. Danika questioned the people and found out that it was for a festival that's taking place in a few days. I'm sure it'll be a very cheerful and not at all macabre affair. We will, I'm sure, be checking it out. From there, we made our trades with the blacksmith, where I was able to procure lead needed to craft a few more bullets. I feel I'll need to keep plenty on hand in this godforsaken country. Urzak found himself a new breastplate, and Danika found a crossbow. Probably not a bad idea to, upgrade our stores. We then crossed paths with the sheriff of the Happy Police and his rather large red demon arm, who sternly informed us that we are to enjoy ourselves at all times, or else. Guess that explains all these creepy smiles around us. I couldn't help but notice that he was not smiling at all. Bit hypocritical, if you ask me. He was clearly trying to be intimidating, even slapping a flyer onto Urzak's new breastplate, but it didn't seem to faze Urzak in the least. We finally made our way to Blinsky's toy shop, where the toy selection was rather grim. For a town whose inhabitants are to be enjoying themselves and happy-go-lucky, they sure do like to traumatize the kids. Gruesome dolls, Strahds in a box, figurines of murders, toy gallows complete with hanging body. Yeah, that's what I expected to find in a toy shop. As we did promise toys for the kids back at the inn, we commissioned some blocks to be made. I'm sure they will not be at all as dour as the selection they had in stock. While there, we noticed a doll that looks eerily similar to our travel companion Ireena. Upon questioning, we learned this doll and others like it were commissioned by our angry new sheriff friend. Danika and Delphine hightailed it back to the inn, fearing for Ireena's safety. After finishing our business at the toy shop, we made it back to the inn to find all is well, for now. Ireena mentioned a church that will take her and the kids in and keep them safe. But do we trust this church in this creepy town? And yeah, that's it.
Okay, very well done. There you go. There's the random Rhapsody coin. Don't forget to use it. It's only going to last this session. Well, expedition members, you are all back at the Blue Water Inn, sitting together in one of the 2 rooms that you all share. Your morning outing in Veros was interesting, to say the least. And while Ireena is safe and sound here at the inn, the fact remains that the sheriff does seem to be infatuated with Ireena's likeness. A fact that puts the young woman in danger yet again. Who knows how many people saw her last night that might go and report her to the guards. And with that in mind, you've all kind of brought her up into the room and appraised her of that situation, and it seems like at least one of you are planning to stick behind and keep an eye on her and the children, while the rest of you continue to gather more information in the town. And since Marty isn't going to make it today, we're going to say that Urzak is going to stay behind at the inn and protect them all. So, with that in mind, Conclave Expedition, what do you plan on doing here in the town of Veros?
Do we want to take a look at this church?
I mean,
yeah, I suppose so.
It might be a good idea to suss them out and see if they are trustworthy.
Let's see if we can find a bookstore too. Maybe they'll have some children-oriented stuff that's, well, not the toy shop.
I wouldn't mind if we stopped and I introduced you to my friend Rictavio either.
Well, we met him. Well, we didn't meet him. We saw him playing in the bar. We never actually talked to him.
That's right.
Ah, already introducing us to the fella, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right, young lady. It's like I promise I will be the good attentive father figure you most certainly need. I didn't mean that in a creepy way, by the way. Cog is definitely the father of the group. That's what I meant. That's all.
I feel like Cog would have also said, I didn't mean that in a creepy way.
Like you guys, it's your generation. I swear. Well, he look, he goes, well, except you, Dyto. But the rest of you...
Dyto.
Or
Who's Dyto?
Delphine, sorry. They're both D's. And then we've got Danika, then we've got Danika, or whatever we went with. There's too many right now. My brain
Don't
can't
forget
handle
about
it.
me, Davos.
Oh, fucking shit.
Now we really have to go check out that church.
Yeah. Yeah, let's check that out. Like I said, bookstore too. If we can find something like that. Something more appropriate for the children. Or, you could check out that blacksmith and see if they had, like, maybe a little wooden... Because Davos has a little wooden training sword. Maybe the other little boy would like one, too.
Yes. More sticks for them to beat each other up with.
Well,
I mean, it keeps them entertained, right?
I mean, yeah.
That's true.
Livius does speak up. I would like a practice sword, too. I want to learn how to fight.
I think in this world, you almost kind of have to learn.
Right.
Normally, I would advise against children learning so early, but this place is a little different.
This is fair, yes.
Let's go do that then.
Okay. So the four of you saying goodbye to Urzak, Ireena, and the children. The four of you make your way back out of the room onto the balcony of the inn. You can see down in the common room that it is about lunchtime at this point. The tavern is starting to fill up. There's a handful of Vistani sitting at one table drinking wine with a local in a fine looking vest, waistcoat, and wearing a little bit of a kind of jaunty hat. They all seem to be in a deep conversation. There's also a few more Barovians, just a common salt of the earth types, farmers, and the whatnot. There's also a man who's apparently wearing waders and boots, and he has a fishing pole that's propped up on the bar next to him. He's seated at the bar, eating away at a stew. He looks like a fisherman. All of these are people that are seated down at the bar right now. As you're all making your way, you have to go across the balcony, down a set of steps that lead to the outside. And that takes you onto the main road of Veros. So where are you heading first? Are you planning on going to the church? Are you planning on seeking out Rictavio? Or are you planning on going back to the blacksmith to see if you can find a couple practice swords?
Where was Rictavio? Because I thought he was staying in the inn, but I guess he's not.
Well, you did meet him at the inn. He was not in the common room when you passed it, though.
Did we see his wagon anywhere out front, or because didn't he had a wagon, right? Didn't we see some weird?
Yeah, he had a wagon with his circus. They're not a
I'm
circus.
assuming he's the circus person, right? That's not, because this town obviously doesn't have a circus. Like a guillotine toys in the store. So we don't see that. I mean, I guess we would.
Well, I'll
maybe-
remind you, you did not see it when you arrived at the inn. You saw it as you were passing
Yeah,
a
getting to the
location
place,
on your
yeah.
way there. Do you remember where I said you saw it?
No.
We passed the stockyard, and that's where it was.
There you go.
Well, then let's.
Leave it to Danika to remember the stockyard.
Well, I'm assuming that was number. Is that number 5? It looks like.
Is that just,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's in
fi-
this
number
open
5
plate.
on the map.
Okay.
well, then let's get our swords first and our books.
And my blocks. So get those.
No, because
Those-
those won't be done until tomorrow.
Yeah, those will be ready tomorrow.
Oh,
It is
I thought he's-
currently about midday.
Is it the
here in
same day?
Veros. Yes, it is the
Okay,
same
I
day.
didn't know if we had spent the. Okay. All right, yeah. Then, all right, yeah. Let's check out, see if there's bookstore, practice swords, then stockyard.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
Don't forget to smile. You're never fully dressed.
Hi ho, hi ho.
oh, I forgot about that song. That's from
Is
Annie.
the side? Well,
No, the song
not
from
that one,
Annie.
Yeah.
You're never fully dressed without a smile.
I don't know the words of that. I ain't gonna sing that one.
I
I
can
was just
remember.
gonna say, Cog is the size of the 7 dwarves, so he just be like, hi ho, hi ho.
Mm.
Dun, 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 dun.
Sure,
Just a
why
little
not?
jaunty step.
Well, so you step out onto the road and start making your way, I guess, towards the blacksmith while keeping an eye out for a bookstore. Make for me a perception check as you're starting to make that trick.
All of us?
Whomever wants to.
That is an 18.
Oh, 18.
Ooh, 22.
Okay.
As above, so below.
What do your dead eyes see?
Well, so with the 18s and the 22s, as you're making your way down the street, I will point out that the pyre that had been built here in the center of the road, at the center of town, is fully built at this point. It is currently up, and it seems that they've also added this odd sort of roundish looking ball or orb that's been woven together out of reeds and sticks, and it's actually like pretty well built, all things considered. Like it's the size and shape of like it's probably about 2 feet across, end to end. It's a pretty big deal, and it's sitting there right on top of the funeral, or of the pyre. It's not funeral, it's just a pyre.
What?
I keep wanting to
Slip
call
of
it.
the tongue.
I keep wanting to call it that, but it's just a pyre. It's just
Is this some foreshadowing?
I mean, everything's shadowing in Barovia. We all know that.
Well, I mean, true.
But yeah, it's there on the top. It's a pretty neat structure. And there is a guard that's stationed nearby. I'm just kind of leaning up against a wall, spear in a hand, just more keeping an eye out on the thing itself to make sure nobody messes with it. He's got a big old grin on his face as well, and he eyes the 4 of you as you're making your way down the road. You don't see any shops per se on the road you're currently walking down. It's mostly just houses. Not much more than that, to be honest. And you kind of you turn the corner and make your way over to the blacksmith. You've met this guy once before. He's currently inside the shop itself, more putting things away at this point and getting ready for lunch himself. But he sees you as you're approaching, and he kind of nods to you and he says, not sure why you're back. All sales are final, though.
Oh, no. He's very happy with what he's got. They're good. We have a young companion with us, and we were curious if you might have like wooden practice training swords.
Sure, I've got a few of those. The guards ask me to make some for them when they do their combat drills and that sort of thing. He kind of rummages around through a barrel and he pulls out a like two decently made wooden swords. Definitely better than the quality you got from the blacksmith of the Vistani. Like theirs is just like a stick that's been kind of shaved. This is actually like formed in the shape of a sword.
Are they appropriate size for the children, or are they like huge?
Yeah, no, they're actually short sword size. You
Okay.
mentioned that they were for kids, so he pulls out two of those and he says, these aren't very expensive. 3 coppers each.
Yeah, I'll get it.
You want the both of them?
Yep. Yeah, because if the one that we had for Davos was kind of garbage, we'll get him a better one.
Yeah, absolutely. You can buy the two of them, 6 copper pieces.
Got 69 copper left.
Nice.
Was it only one of? It sounded like both of the other kids wanted one too, or was it just one?
No, it was the other little boy said he wanted. We're not going to give
Oh,
one.
okay,
do
gotcha.
we? I mean, are we going to give one to the little girl just yet? I thought she was much, much younger.
She's like 4.
Yeah, so she doesn't need one. We'll get her a mace later.
Well, and she could always take Davos's others.
She could
Here
always
I am
just
trying to be
bomb
fair to imaginary children.
Okay.
But yeah, no, he'll pocket those or put them in his little satchel.
Anything else I can do for you?
No, for now, this is great. We just realized we needed to grab something for them, so we came back to talk to you. Actually, if you could help us now, the toy store, wonderful, wonderful selection, obviously. Keeping up that smile. But do you know if there happens to be maybe a library in town, or maybe a merchant that might sell books geared for children, just like maybe some children's stories, stuff like that?
Well, no, there's no libraries here apart from the inn, and the Baron has one, and Lady Watcher, I'm pretty sure, has one as well. But
we couldn't impose on them.
Nothing like that. The general goods shop at the stockyard, they do sell a small assortment of books and things like that. General supplies and things like horse feed and.
Well, that's perfect. We're
Things
actually
like-
heading.
Do you guys
We're
have
heading
horses? If you have the horse speed?
There's a handful of people who own horses in town.
Would you have any to sell? Because we will be, after the festival, we do have some more traveling to do, and it'd be great if we could get a horse or two.
You'd have to see if the stockyard has anything available. I couldn't tell you for certain.
No, you've been fantastic, sir. Thank you.
Well, have a good day, and remember to keep those smiles up. He kind of gives you a bit of a grin.
You got it. Then I guess we would make our way towards the stockyards.
Okay.
Yep.
So the stockyards from where you are is not a difficult journey. You just get back on the main road, head east, and eventually you'll come to it. One thing of note as you're all making your way down in that direction, you do hear a sound that Vide, you at least, would be familiar with hearing. Well, I suppose all of you would be familiar hearing this sound because you've heard Vide do this at least a time or two, right? It's that sound.
Urzak?
Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to judge, but for sure, you definitely are hearing the sound, even with your passive perception, hearing the sound of a whip crack repeatedly.
I wasn't wrong.
Oh, Marty, I am so sorry.
Are you though?
No, I'm not. I'm lying. I love every second of it that everybody's chipping in.
But yeah, you can all very clearly hear the sound of a whip crack somewhere in the distance to your south.
I guess it's from right where we are right now. I mean, is there anything noticeable? Is that where the stocks are?
You have
Or
heard
that-
about stocks. You haven't seen them yet.
Okay. I guess there is like a town square kind of looking area down there potentially. Do we want to investigate, gang, or?
I mean, it's the middle of the day. I mean, it couldn't hurt.
I think so. Might as well check it out.
Yeah, I mean, what's... never mind, I'm not gonna say it. Well, yeah, let's go check it out.
Vide, maybe you can learn some new techniques.
Perhaps. We will see. We will see what's going on.
Okay. There is a road not far from where you're standing that curves to the south, and you are able to follow it along until you reach a small clearing area of heavy packed dirt that is clearly an open air farmer's market type place. There's small stalls every 10, 15 or so feet with boxes of different vegetables. You can see one that's nothing but fish. You can see another one that sell meats sitting out in the sun, which can't be completely hygienic. This is clearly an open air market. Now, at the northern end of the square, as you're stepping out into it, you can see that there is a row of stocks, quite a few of them, locked, in which several men, women, and children are all locked into these stocks. The children actually are standing on like a milk crate. And they're literally like in them. And on every single one of, like, you can only, well, I suppose they could be halflings, but then again, since you haven't seen many halflings here in Barovia, you never know. But it's the reason you're not 100% sure is because every single one of them is wearing a crude plaster donkey head on top of their heads. The sounds that you're hearing is of another individual in an extra stock that is situated more towards the center of this market area. That individual is in the stocks as well and is currently being whipped by an individual you all recognize, the sheriff.
Good old demon arm.
He seems to be finishing up a series of 30 lashes, and as you all survey this scene, that last lash hits the person, who cries out one last time in pain. And then you see the sheriff beginning to wind his whip back up around, and is seen talking to a couple of the nearby guards. So, what do you all do?
Try not to enjoy the sight of that too much. He said, I guess, to make himself look like he's supposed to be there, Cog will start going up to the stalls. Is it just vegetables? and meat stuff, or is there like fruits and things as well? Or?
Yeah, fruits and vegetables, meats, your general stuff you would find at a farmer's market. People selling some fresh plants as well. There's a woman selling herbs and tinctures, stuff like that.
I mean, he'd start perusing that stuff. Maybe, I guess, pick up some, maybe some fruits and stuff to put in their room to snack on. You said there were tinctures and stuff. Might look over that stuff. Just kind of keep an eye on that while also looking and surveying the people in the stocks. I mean, now you said they have donkey heads, so we really can't tell their condition.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask, is like, do any of them look like they're in very dire straits? Because then, I mean, Cog would. I don't know what Cog will do.
Okay.
We'll find
Well,
out.
then let's say that you're going to. I tried to get a good glimpse of them by like walking kind of past them on your way to the first stall to begin to peruse it. And as you're doing so, make for me a medicine check.
Ooh, it's only 11.
It's difficult to tell, honestly. None of them seem like seriously emaciated or anything like that. They're all clothed. They seem hunched over and uncomfortable, for sure. But just from your quick glance, none of them seem like on death's door or anything like that.
At least there's that.
What do the rest of you do?
I'm gonna. So this is the stock. So I'm gonna look around and see if anybody's selling mounts or books. I guess.
Or is this the stockyard? Or
Yeah, this
no,
is not the stockyard.
Okay.
Oh,
This
okay.
is the farmers. This is the marketplace. The stockyard is over here.
I'll take a look at some of the tinctures.
Okay.
I don't think I need any.
Is there anything there that would like actually suffice, like healing potions? Like, would that be sold here? Or
Like I said, there is an herbalist there. You could go over and inquire.
yeah, we'll check with that one.
Vide, are you going along with them?
Yeah, I'll be walking with them and just kind of looking back and forth, like at the people in the stocks and the wares and everything, just kind of
Appreciating
observing.
Sheriff's whipping arm.
Fair enough. There's
Observing things that are whatever's going on.
and I did put the sheriff on the map just so you can see him in relation to where you all are.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Danika, are you following along as well?
Yeah, and Danika is gonna buy some like dried fruits and just to have some food with her to travel.
Okay. Let's say that each of you spend about 5 copper pieces and can get a little bit of dried fruit or fresh fruit or vegetables or whatever basic food stuff you want, enough for like a day's ration. You head over to the herbalist's stall, which is a little elderly woman, bright white hair, just a mass of wrinkles, with gray eyes, the color of the dark overcast clouds that are overhead right now. She's tiny, she's frail, she's like everybody's great-great-grandmother. That's just what you're seeing right there. And as you all approach, she just kind of looks up at you all. Oh, hello. What can I get for you? I have plenty of herbs. I have tinctures and poultices as well.
Did you have anything like a healing potion, stuff like that, or a healing salve would work as well?
I do have a small assortment of healing potions that I could sell. She pulls out 4 bottles of a familiar reddish liquid and sets them down on the counter in front of you. She tells you, these are your simple basic healing potions. I sell them for 50 gold pieces each.
How much did his armor end up being? And how much did he take out of the party gold?
He took out 110 in gold from the party.
Okay, you know what? I think I already took it out because if it was at 670, now it's at 560. Okay, all right.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what? If you guys don't mind, I'll dip into the party stores for this, or I can get some of my own. It's up to you.
No, I think it's great if you get some.
Yeah, that's. You said there were 4.
Yep, 4 of them, so it'd be 200 gold each. 200 gold total.
Say, holy shit!
Wait a second, that math.
No, my math is accurate. Yeah.
Danika is gonna try to haggle to get a small discount.
Okay.
My Vide, what long hair you have.
All right.
Well, I don't know. Do you want me to just ask her, ma'am, can we get a small discount?
She kind of looks up at you and says, "Why? A discount? I make these myself. It takes so long to make."
No, dear. You know what? That's okay. We don't need anything. These young whippersnappers, they just think they get everything for easy, don't they?
No. No. Not at all.
He's like, the fees you already quoted is just fine, ma'am.
She smiles at you and says, "Oh, thank you, young man. Thank you."
You'd be surprised. I might actually be older than you.
And then chuckles at that.
Did she have anything else in terms of like other kinds of potions or anything like that, or was it just kind of like your basic?
For the most part, they are basic potions, basic herbs and supplies and things like that. However, she says to you that, well, since you're so nice and so sweet, young man, I will throw in one more little something that I had been playing around with. I was making this hopefully to surprise my granddaughter with it, and if it ends up working for you, maybe you could come back and let me know.
Oh, yeah. What is it? What's it do?
Well,
Or we just got to find out.
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I believe that if you were to drink this potion, that you would be able to move at incredible speed for a short time.
It's meaningless for Cog. That's a good thing for Urzak. You know what? I think I know what you're. Maybe like a potion of speed, or I think I've seen these before. No, if you did this is fantastic. We will check it out, and if we end up having to use it, we will let you know how it goes.
I made it for my daughter. Always says she never has enough energy with the children. They're always so busy and so much of a handful that I thought this would work as a little pick-me-up. She passes you the little vial of bluish liquid.
Definitely gonna have Delphine look at that later. Before we drink it.
It's cocaine. It's definitely cocaine.
It's cocaine, just straight cocaine.
But yeah, go ahead and put down. You got 4 more new potions of healing and a potion of cocaine.
Were those lesser healing?
Yeah, those are lesser.
The 2d4, just the regulars? Okay.
Yes.
Put that on here, and I got all that. Did anybody else want to look at anything else while we're here in this area, or do we want to get away from Captain Creepy Arm?
I am quite alright with getting away from Captain Creepy.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, let's move along.
Hey,
I wish we could do
Danika,
something to help with this, but I think this
do
is
you
not our
wanna?
bad yet.
You're really good at talking to people, right?
Well, I wouldn't know about that. I couldn't even get us a discount, but
Well, I mean, like, just casual conversation. Maybe we can casually find out why they're being whipped. I mean, I think I know, but
I'm pretty sure it has something to do with
not
you know, the
smiling.
smiles. Yeah.
But it
Are
could
we
be
still-
other reasons too. You never know.
are we still by like the little old lady?
Yeah, you're by the little old lady. You're basically across from this basic broken down old fountain of an individual that looks like they're facing west at one point, but half of the body is just of the upper half of the body is just completely gone. There's a group of peasants that are around it currently right now. They're dipping water out of the fountain with cups and vases and things like that. And there's a little bit of chatter going on now that the whipping has stopped. But yeah, you're right there next to the old woman still.
So Danica's gonna lean into the little old lady and she's gonna go, "Ma'am," and her voice is gonna be a little bit more hushed. And she's gonna go, "Ma'am, do you happen to know why they're getting whipped?"
She kind of keeps that smile at you and kind of leans in a little bit as she says, "Oh dearie, I think it's best if we mind our own business on that matter."
Oh, ma'am, it would be really good just to kind of have an idea, because I don't want to end up in the stocks like that. And we're kind of new from here, so I want to know what we can do and what we can't.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion. 23.
23. The lady kind of gestures to you to lean in towards her, and she leans forward as well and whispers in your ear as quietly as she can. Let me take a look here real quick. She says to you, "Yeah, that right there is Udo Lukovic. He was imprisoned about a week ago for speaking out against the Baron. Apparently, he has not relented in his statements, and so the Baron this morning ordered that he be whipped." He was drugged right there, right out into the city, and into the marketplace, right in front of us, and was ordered by the Baron to relent and say that all will be well. And of course, poor Udo, he just refused. And so the Baron ordered his whipping. The sheriff came and drug him and stuffed him in the stocks and began to do it right there and then.
Oh, no. Well, that's unfortunate.
as she's saying this, like, for a moment, that smile faltered, but then the old woman, like, kind of remembers that she's supposed to be smiling, and the big grin comes back on her face. You can also see right now that the boy, Udo, is currently being removed from the stocks by 2 guards, though overseen by the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're currently dragging him away towards the south along the southern road down here.
Oh. Now, was he the one that we couldn't tell what his condition was?
Well, no, Cog tried to look at the others, because there's about more than half a dozen others in stocks up towards the northern end.
Now, in his passing, as we see him getting dragged away, can we tell if he's still conscious? Can we tell kind of what he looks like? Can we tell what Udo's condition in particular is?
You can make a perception check, which is not going to give you a whole lot of information, or you can make a medicine check, which is going to give more information about his condition.
I got a 20 in medicine.
Okay. With your 20 in medicine, Udo is definitely easier to get an eye of, because he doesn't have the donkey head on his face. So, as you're taking him down, like, his back is striped. He just took 30 lashings, so it's bloodied, it's cut up, it's not looking great. He seems very thin. His skin is very much, very, very pale, apart from the red all across his back. He's only wearing breeches, pants, around his waist. He does not have any shoes on his feet. He definitely seems like he's probably been held prisoner for the week, like the old lady said, and probably hasn't been fed a whole hell of a lot. But he is alive.
Okay, good.
But he is alive. He is breathing.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No worries.
Danica's going to lead into the little old lady, and she's going to go, so where do they take him? Do they kill him?
She whispers back to you, no, they won't kill him. The worst they would do is throw him outside of town and let Barovia handle it. Right now, he's being held prisoner in the Baron's basement. There's a jail cell down there, and it's well known that's where he's being kept.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your information.
You're very welcome. The burgomaster's mansion, the Baron's mansion, is it's on the other side of this. She points to the road down there. On the other side of the curve, if you follow this road, not far from the toy shop Linsky's. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Oh yeah. Would it be like this nice big gray one here?
This nice big red one right here.
Oh, the one in front.
No, you're right. It is the gray one. Yes, it is the gray one.
Yeah, as I say, that one looks like it'd be a little more majestic.
I have a little thing over it, so I couldn't see it at first. But yes, it is.
Oh yeah, it just looks like it'd be bigger. So it's
100%.
She said around the bend. All right. Well, maybe we'll. God, we're gonna get into trouble, aren't we? We'll check that out later, won't we, gang? Let's go check out the stockyards for now. Don't want to impose too much on this kind woman.
She wishes you all a very good day and reminds you all that all will be well as you walk away.
God, just gonna whisper to the group. I assume there's like nobody like directly around us. He's like, we're probably gonna have to kill that old lady later, aren't we? She's gonna tell on us. I know it's gonna. God damn this town. Anyway, let's keep smiling, guys. Yeah. Let's go check out the stockyard.
God, I want a wand of smiles so bad.
Danika's gonna be flabbergasted. Wait, God, we're killing the little old lady? Wait, where did I...
It's just the way this place has been going. I'm assuming she's going to turncoat and tell them we weren't smiling or something. I don't know.
We weren't smiling that whole time?
Well, well, were you smiling when you were whispering to her? What questions were you asking her? You were asking her some pretty dark questions.
How I always smile. Look at this face.
Yeah, you do. Never mind. But still, you were asking some questions that we probably need to be more careful about asking.
Cog, you gotta live a little. Life's too short. Oh, wait.
No, I'm too short. Anywho.
Okay, let me just get this straight. You can make short jokes?
Yes. If you know what? We're not going to get into the tropes of me being able to make fun of my own size stature. Because, obviously, it's my word. I can say it. I'm
just trying to understand.
All right, you know what? This is going to get it.
Yeah,
we need to step on it now.
Move on here.
Before we...
Anyway, how about that weather?
We're going to end up walking to the line and then just smashing right through it.
Jumping right on over that. Let's not do that.
I can't think to make a joke that would actually make it funny, okay?
Let's not.
Let's just go.
So the stockyards, how are the stockyards looking?
Yeah, the stockyards. Well, you asked about the weather, and it's gray and cloudy, like it always is in Barovia. And the stockyards, you have to kind of walk up the road a ways to get back to the main road, but it's not far from the stockyard. You head over in that direction, and you find that this large area has several locked sheds along its periphery, and it lies adjacent to a roomy, very large warehouse. A wooden sign is hanging on the front gate over the main entryway, and it says Araske Stockyard. You can see as you move into the space that there is a large carnival wagon, a very sturdy-looking thing parked at the south end of the yard. You've seen it once before. Its colorful paint is peeling off. It's painted in bright green paint, and it has gold lettering on the sides that are kind of faded and worn, but it says on the side, Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders. And I actually have a handout that I can show you. There you go.
Looks very inviting.
What?
Yes, that looks very like it's gonna be so happy and cheerful. Fun.
Those are some heavy chains.
Yeah, it is pretty stained and worn. That is for sure. There are a handful of people moving back and forth in the area. You can see that towards the eastern side of the stockyard, there is a corral area that has some cattle, probably about 24 cows and another dozen sheep in separate pens. There is a small assortment of donkeys as well as a small herd of horses. There's about 6 of them in a stall, right down towards the far side. Now, the Carnival of Wonders that you see down there towards the south end, you can also see that there is somebody currently on top of it. Their back is to you, but they're still wearing that same bright blue, garish clothes that you had seen him in previously. It's definitely Rictavio standing on top of the thing. They're crouched down and they seem to be fiddling with something almost like a little trap door on the top of the wagon. And they're just kind of working away at that thing right now. So, what do you all want to do?
Well, I suppose we should make for this Rictavio's wagon. You know, at least that's where we can first stop. Check in with this gentleman that has captured our sweet bard's heart.
Listen, I wouldn't go that far as capturing my heart, but
Has caught your attention at least.
well, I mean, have you seen what he's wearing?
He is pretty cute.
Have you shared with us a picture of Rictavio
Yeah,
yet?
can we see a picture of Rictavio?
I thought I did.
Is he actually kind of cute?
Yeah, I actually don't think I have a picture of Rictavio.
Okay, so you're making baseless assumptions then.
Yeah.
We've got one of Blinsky, but we don't get Rictavio.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's because Rictavio is cute and he's not. We only get the creepy handouts.
It's true. It's true.
I was quite taken with Blinsky, actually. No.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed they don't have a picture of him. Oh well. I'll find one for you later. But anyway, you all start making your way over to Rictavio's wagon. For the moment, at least, he's oblivious to your presence. What do you do?
Guy's just gonna look at Danika and be like, it's your show.
Danika's gonna call out in Elvish. Rictavio!
Is there by any chance any like large livestock, or is the largest thing that is out here a cow?
I thought you said there were horses, didn't you?
Yeah, there's some donkeys and some
Okay.
horses as well.
I wanted to cast detect magic in the square, but I'm afraid to cast magic right now.
Here you go.
Okay.
He's alright.
It's like an elven Burt Reynolds.
Does he have a pentagram on his forehead?
God damn it, now I can't unsee it.
You know, the mustache needs to be a little thicker for the old, for the bandit, but...
I like it. Anyway. You call out his name. He turns and he looks at you all, and as he's doing it, he's very quickly closing that little trapdoor on the top of his wagon. He smiles and says, "Ah, the delicious, delightful Danika. So nice to see you again." And he
capture your heart.
he stands up very quickly and jumps down off of the wagon, landing with very lightly on his feet in a way that makes his cloak flourish out around him and back. Very theatrical, this guy seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a bard.
Is he a bard?
I
Didn't
mean,
you say he was?
he was introduced as a bard, yeah.
Well, Rictavio, I wanted to introduce you to some of my friends here. And Danika introduces the party.
Well, it's very nice to meet you all. I am Rictavio the Magnificent. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
What kind of attractions do you provide with your carnival, sir?
Oh, a little this, a little that. bit of sleight of hand, a little magical flourish, and of course, the misdirection. He just kind of grins at you.
So he's just a thief. I only ask. We have some young companions back at the inn. I'm sure would love a good show.
Well, if only I were able to provide that now. Unfortunately, I am not in the performing mood and mindset. I have a little more on my plate at the moment. I just happen to be passing through, as a matter of fact. I'm sure your friend spoke a little bit of that, or perhaps not, I don't know, but I am not currently in the performing mode.
Well, that's unfortunate, sir, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. We were actually kind of passing through town ourselves. We kind of got held up because I don't feel we have to stick around for this festival, or... Well, who knows what would happen. But we're in town for at least through, I guess the festival's tomorrow?
I believe it's the morning after tomorrow.
So at least, well, we gotta stay for at least to get my blocks. Are you in town for that long? Are you gonna be heading out today, or?
Perhaps not. It really depends on what I find here throughout my day. I have some business in town that I must conclude, and if the information I was hoping for pans out, I may be leaving as early as nightfall.
Well, I'm not one to pry into another man's business, so no need to explain there. Where might you be headed after this?
He continues that kind of coy smile with you, and he glances over at you, Danika. You'll remember that he did speak a little bit about what he was doing. That he was looking for someone in particular, and that a lot of his business revolved around that right now. And so he just kind of puts his a finger to his nose and he says, "Who knows at this point? Who knows? I'm sure you all have your business that you must attend to, and I as well."
That we do.
The bard kind of looks to you, at you all for a moment, and he says, "You know, the general goods store just over yonder sells some fascinating things. You would not believe the items they have in their little corners where nobody can be listening in, if you get my meaning."
I think I do, sir. Not sure I actually do, but Kaga's gonna say he does. That one over there? And he's just gonna kind of point towards the general store.
Indeed, perhaps I can show you some of these more unique items they have there.
You know what? That would be wonderful, sir.
Rictavio nods his head and walks around to the side of his wagon towards the back. There's a single door inset into the very back of the thing, and he walks over to it, checks the padlock that's on it. It's a very large iron padlock that's keeping the door closed. He double checks it, nods his head, and then leads you over to the large two-story warehouse building that makes up the main shop of the stockyard. Inside the store, you see that typical kind of grouchy-looking Barovian that's pretty synonymous with shopkeepers. Bald head, crown of hair around the sides, kind of pudgy, wearing an apron. He looks over at you, but Rictavio just kind of waves his hand and says, "Ah, yes, I'm just going to show them of some of your better goods. We'll call you if we need you." And then the elf leads you all back to a back corner of the warehouse, around a few pallets of like dried beans and barley and things like that. Once you're all there, he kind of glances about to see whether or not there are any other people around. And after a moment, turns and regards you all once again. You all... Your friend indicated that you are all adventurers traveling through Barovia. As I mentioned to her last night, I am looking for a particular group of Vistani. I believe they may have entered into Barovia somewhere not far from here, and it is my hope that I can locate them.
Would it be the same Vistani that we ventured in with?
Your friend mentioned that you had met some Vistani who were already encamped here when you all arrived. These individuals would have arrived within the last day or two.
Oh. Well, I mean, there is those ones I guess there's a camp outside of town.
A camp outside of town, you say?
I believe, yeah, didn't we see? Yeah, we saw a bunch of them. Well, there's been a bunch of Vistani in town, too, so there's got to be somewhere. Because they've been in the tavern every day. But didn't we see, like, something on our map? On our map?
I mean, they were at the circle, but they left.
That's, okay,
we left.
maybe that, no, okay, that's, yeah.
Well,
but I know there's been a bunch of Vistani in town. Because they're always at the bar.
You did see some at the inn when you left.
Or at the inn, yeah. Well, there have been quite a few of them in town recently. Do you have a name of any of them in particular? Or are you just looking for a certain... Is there a special insignia the group goes by?
The group that I am looking for, no, they Vistani all appear to be Vistani, but this group is traveling with a small group of moon elves.
Oh.
Well, that sounds interesting.
But you say there's some at the inn.
There's been some... I think the last couple mornings, there have been a few in the inn.
You've only been here one morning. And
well, all right, well, that morning and then today, I guess. Well, yeah, the evening before, weren't there so? I meant the evening before.
You did not see any the evening before, no.
Well, there was some there this morning, yeah.
I don't know if they were with elves, but...
No, we didn't see any other elves, just you guys.
Well, if that's the case, I think my next destination shall be your inn. Pity they weren't there last night when I was performing. It would have made my evening a lot more interesting.
Why are you looking for these Vistani in particular? Or is it the moon elves you're looking for?
He looks at you kind of appraising. Make a persuasion check.
Good old +1.
Can I assist him?
That's a 19. Everybody's been beating my rolls so far, so that's a good one.
He tells you they themselves are, well, to be honest, I believe they assisted another individual coming into Barovia. This individual is a friend of mine. Someone I respect very much, and it is he that I am looking for.
Maybe these Vistani... I mean, they can come and go, so perhaps they're the same ones that actually brought us here. What, has it been a couple weeks now? In-game time?
Mm-hmm.
At least, yeah, a little more than a week for sure.
Yeah, about 10 days ago, we were brought here ourselves. Perhaps they left and came back again. Seems to be what they do.
Hmm.
In this land as well as many others. The Vistani are not native to my home as well, but manage to come and go as they will.
Yeah, we've heard the stories about that, about a certain individual they might have helped, and he allows them to come and go. Fun. What was this friend of yours name? Maybe we come across them ourselves.
He hesitates a bit more, and he says, "Forgive me, but I've known you but
Fair.
a few moments at most. Danika, I've met you the night beforehand. And this land has ears and eyes everywhere. I'm sure you'll understand if I do not wish to speak his name.
No,
aloud.
I got you. We've got some, some people of our own that we're keeping on the down low as well. So no, totally understandable.
It is my belief that the individual I'm looking for is, or will be, in the company of one that I've only known as the Pale Swordsman.
Oh, that's a cool name. He's gonna write that down. He's like, Pale Swordsman. That is just awesome.
My friend spoke of the swordsman often. And it's my belief he is here, looking for that individual now.
No, I remember we just out of character. We heard the stories about there's like a wizard that led an uprising. Didn't he have a swordsman friend? Haven't we heard a story about a swordsman? Like a great one that it was supposed to be like legend or something like that?
I think so.
Maybe they're the same person. Well, I mean, we don't know if the wizard's alive.
Right.
Aren't
there 3 of them?
You know what? I think there might have been, but I don't remember what the third one would have been. I can look back to my notes, see, but I know there was a wizard, and I know there was a swordsman, like a fighter type. I assume swordsman. Now that he said that word, and I know they failed. And I guess isn't one of the places we're looking for? Wasn't it like a wizard's tower? One of the little locations we got from our cards?
Yeah.
I know one was like a drag. Maybe I'm getting like there's a place like...
No, there is one that might be the tower, but we are also going to make a pit stop there because it was going to be on our way to our next destination.
Yeah, and then there's something about a dragon too, but I don't know.
That's the by the lake, right? There's a place by the lake.
It says look for a tower on the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the cards, it's Master of Stars Wizard. Yeah. All right.
Okay, well that's all been above table.
Yeah.
I assume,
No.
so you didn't say
No, that because I said out of character. Yeah, because I was trying to remember. It's like
in character, in character we were going to stop there for a midway point on our way to our next location.
Do you say anything about any of this to Octavio?
I guess about what our cards read, or like I guess if we've heard a story about a great swordsman. It was like a story of legend. Maybe that's this pale swordsman. Something about an uprising with a wizard. This place is all. The information comes, but it doesn't really, it's not like they say this is this, this is this. It's more like go here, look for the blue dolphin, that kind of stuff. It's weird shit here. It's not been a blue dolphin, sir. I just made that as a
you mentioned a wizard, did you not?
Yeah, there was something about they led an uprising with some peasants and it failed.
I don't know anything about an uprising or anything of that sort. As I said, I am not from these lands, but I have recently heard a story about a wizard that I found rather interesting.
Oh,
apparently, there was a pair of hunters here in Veros who were traveling north through the woods, hunting game. They told me about how they ran across a wild man, a madman, clearly, ranting and raving at shadows and speaking to the trees. The pair of them approached this man, asking if he required aid. And the next thing they knew, they were walking back home towards the village. The two of them swears that this man must be a wizard and cast a powerful compulsion upon them to return. And so, keep with that in mind, I have yet to go exploring the forests to the north.
I wonder, would that be those two big brutes that were in the inn last night?
You mean the two who spilt wine all over?
I was being more, yes, those bastards.
No, I'm afraid not. The two of them are actually the sons of one of the local nobles, a lady watcher, if I'm not mistaken. I spoke to them as well. That one is an interesting one, to be sure. Apparently, this lady watcher, though her sons are drunkards and idiots, apparently she is the only one who openly speaks out against the Baron here. I have not had the pleasure of meeting her myself, but I've heard interesting things about her.
Might have to check her out.
Do you know where she can be found?
I would assume in her mansion. I could not tell you where it is in the city, but
let's pick it out. Let's guess. I'm gonna go with this because this is the church, isn't it? This one over here.
N1 is the church.
Yeah, well, that's why I was changed. Then I was like, I'm guessing is like maybe this one's her mansion over here, over by the toy or I guess the blacksmith shop. I'm just guessing. Now I'm just picking out real estate. Well, that is quite interesting, but I appreciate you sharing that information with us, and hopefully those Vistani at the inn might be the ones to point you in the direction you need to go.
Thank you very much for that information as well. I hope the Vistani in the inn are the ones I'm looking for. And perhaps after a few glasses of wine, I might find that out.
Hopefully. We had some wine with them and ended up here, so hopefully your time goes better than ours did.
Well, I am here already. He kind of chuckles at that. Well, unless there's anything else I can do for you, I think I'm going to be making my way towards the inn.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Then with that, Rictavio says his goodbyes to you all and strides away, leaving you all inside the general goods store. I know there was a handful of things that you all needed to purchase. If you want to do that, we can take care of that real quick.
If they had any, like, books of any kind, I could peruse them.
They do have a small selection of books, maybe like 10 at most. Most of them are on either farming or husbandry, things of that nature. There is a one book of stories, like an actual novel, but
Mhm.
like glancing through it and kind of skimming it, it's mostly like
Horrible shit.
really, really dark horror.
No, Pete the Cat, none of that. All right. No, you know what? How much is the book?
The book itself is 5 gold pieces.
Because do they have like blank like notebooks and stuff too? Because I'm sure his are coming close to full.
Yeah, you can actually buy just like empty books, like paper, just reams of paper and stuff like that.
Mm.
Let's see here. Yeah, like just a blank thing of paper bound in leather would, like that sort of style book would cost a gold piece each.
And he'll get 2 of those. So he said it was 5, so 7 total.
Yeah.
See if those stories are similar to anything back home, or if they're it might give him some more insight into Barovia. And so he can, by reading these stories, he can kind of maybe pick up on the vibe a little bit more.
Fair enough. They also do sell rations here. I know all of you have gone down on some of your rations, so you probably want to stock up while you can. Each ration, good for 1 day, is kind of expensive. The price they quote you is 2 gold pieces per ration.
Ooh. Well, this is just Joe, so out of character. I was looking through our items, and do you remember back in, I guess it was back in the first town, I don't know if it was Marty or me, we found a little brooch. It was like buried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gives us 1d4 charges. Now they're unreplenishable charges, but that's the Goodberry spell.
Yeah.
So we've had that for at least 4 charges. So that'll give us at least 4 days.
Yeah, we just haven't needed it yet.
That would be an emergency. But yeah, 2 gold. You know what? We could probably pick up some things at the market, like we just did already. Because didn't Danika and I, for what, 5 copper, got enough stuff that was equal to
a ration?
Yes and no. Now, keep in mind that the rations you buy are, they keep long. They keep for months and months and months. Whereas the stuff you buy is just, you buy it and you can eat it within the day. After a couple days, it's starting to rot.
Yeah, and I will let you guys know I have rations still that I could easily let people have.
We've got some for now, plus we're in. We can come back before we leave. I did want to check out those horses and see if they are potentially for sale.
Yeah.
Is there any, I'm just looking for, I kind of want an oil flask, if there is any.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you can get a flask of oil. It costs 5 silver pieces each.
Then I would like to buy 2 oil flasks.
Okay, you can add on 2 oil flasks.
I remember we got oil. I got 5 vials of oil somewhere.
I have 5 vials of oil as well.
I don't remember when I think it was in the basement of something, or maybe it was at the Ismark's house.
We got it somewhere. I remember
Yeah.
picking up somewhere.
Oh, I think maybe it was at the Death House. Well, I know it as the Death House, but it was that first little inn with the little ghost.
Oh, you mean where Vide shot you?
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
How much do you say the rations were? 2 gold?
2 gold each.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a piece.
Okay. I'll get just a couple rations.
Okay.
Do we want to try and buy some horses or donkeys?
Well, I wanna see if they're for sale. Yeah, and if we can, well, maybe that, and see if if there's perhaps a wagon that would be available. Because I mean, if we end up having to leave town with the children,
Right.
I mean, you can't keep casting that disc every time. I mean, it'd be much
It does
easier.
get tiring after a while.
It'd get quicker. Plus, I mean, do you really want them following around that close to you?
Not
Do
really.
you? Yeah, no, nobody does. Except for Urzak. They stick to him like glue, so...
Wait, I thought we were finding somewhere to drop them off.
Yeah, I know, but...
Just in case.
That's plan A, but when has plan A ever worked?
Fair enough. Yeah, because we do still got to check out this church.
Yeah.
And if we have a wagon, we can move faster.
And
with or without the kids.
And we got something to store stuff in.
Yeah.
This is fair.
So heading back out into the stockyard, and you can approach the stalls where they have the donkeys and horses and cows and whatever. There's a handful of farmers, laborers that work there. They're not farmers, they're laborers. But if you question them, they inform you that the horses, there's a dozen of them, are all owned by Lady Watcher. So they are not for sale. They're currently just being stored here for the time being before they're taken to her personal stable. The donkeys are for sale.
Beast of burden. How much would those be?
Let's see. They have 6 in total that they can sell. They tell you that the donkeys cost 40 gold apiece.
Well, it could be good to at least carry provisions and supplies on.
I mean, donkeys can haul a wagon too.
Oh yeah. Wow.
They do have a couple wagons for sale as well.
Because we had donkeys hauling our wagon.
Were they donkeys? I thought they were.
Yeah.
Oh.
There were 3 of them?
No, there are 2 of them.
4?
I think they might have been
2?
mules instead of donkeys, but same difference.
Yeah, Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know what happened to Sonny. Cher's supposedly still alive, but I mean, I think she's been dead for years, and that's a doppelganger. Anyway, birds aren't real.
Sure. A wagon costs 175 gold pieces.
All right. Well, in our pool, after those 4 potions, we have 360. I've got 374 in Cog's personal. Do we want to get a wagon and 2 donkeys?
I mean,
Or,
I'm willing to chip
mules,
in
or-
as well if need be.
You said there were 40 for the beast, and then you said 175.
Correct.
So that would be...
Do 55.
Well, it's 80...
Yeah.
Yeah.
80
You know
plus
what?
175,
Hey.
255.
Hey, you know what?
I had to use a calculator. I did that.
I was
gonna
gonna say,
brain.
I was like, I've been helping the kid with his math homework all day. My brain is fried. Well, I mean, if we want to do, we can do pot and then split up the 155, or I'll do 105 from the pot and just do 150 between the rest of us.
I'm a wizard. I don't have that kind of gold.
Oh, it's yeah. You've been buying.
I've been creating spells.
So how about 50 from the other three?
Yeah, I mean, I'll easily chip in 50.
You got 50, Danika?
Yeah, 50.
All right, so 150 from that, and then one.
Okay, so the three of you are each providing 50, and then you're taking another
105
from your stash. Okay. Yeah, with that, you can buy 2 donkeys. They also throw in a little bit of food for about 3 days worth of food for them.
Okay.
They tell you that feed per day is typically about 25 copper pieces.
Okay.
So if you plan on
Two
getting...
and a half silver.
Yeah, 2.5 silver.
And then how much is it for us to... Because I guess the lady is keeping her beasts here. How much would it be for us to stable them just for a couple days? We're here for at least through the festival. And then we'll probably be moving on. So at least, I guess, today, tomorrow, into the next day. So about 2 days worth?
About 2 days worth. We'll call it 2 electrum pieces.
2 electrum? You got it, sir.
Just to keep your donkeys here as well as your wagon.
Yep, that'll work.
And also, because I know she said she's thrown in 3 days worth of feed.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be overkill to get a gold's worth of feed? Would that be way too much? I don't know.
Well, they said a day of feed is 1 day of feed was 25 copper.
Correct.
So that's 2.5 silver. So what is 10? Oh, I mean, yeah, that would give it because that'd be 4 days worth.
That'd be an extra 4 days worth for.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, so we'd have 7, in the chamber. I guess if that would work for them, if they're willing to, if we could purchase another 4.
They'll sell you a gold's worth of feed, so you have 7 days worth of feed. Right. You don't need to worry about that feed for the 2 days that you're keeping the donkeys here.
I'm putting it on our equipment list.
Yeah, and my next question is that, do we feel like that's enough, 7 days worth of feed, or do we want to?
I think for now. I mean, you know what? When we come by and pick them up, if we want to purchase some more, we could probably do it then. But I think
7 days. We can get to another town.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Plenty of time. I think we'll be all right.
Okay. Fair enough. Because I don't want to get too much, but I also want to make sure we have enough.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, with that purchase, you now have a little bit better mode of transportation, which is always good. They show you where your wagon is and put a number on the side of it with a little bit of paint and tell you all that this one's yours. You can pick it up here in 2 days or whenever you want it. It'll be here waiting for you. They show you your 2 donkeys. You sign over the paperwork, and they are yours.
Are they both male? One male, one female, both female? What do we got?
I don't care.
I don't care.
Do we want to roll for it?
Dom and Letty, that's their names. It's all about family, y'all. Family.
Mm-hmm.
Dom and Letty.
Dom and Letty. And I think that's a perfect place to go on break. With old Dom and Letty. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes, folks. And when we return, we're going to find out what our heroes get up to next in this town of Veros. Stay tuned. Howdy, everybody. We are back. And when we last left off, our team of expedition members have bought a couple donkeys and a wagon and currently have them stabled here at the stockyard. With that purchase made, it's nearing about I'd say probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun is about as high as it's gonna get, and not very visible through the clouds that constantly hang over the sky. But you still have a handful of hours before it gets dark. So, what do you plan to do with those hours, Expedition?
I don't know.
Do we want to just... Oh, we have to go to that church.
Yeah, we
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
go check out the church.
As I say, didn't we do everything we needed to do? No, we wanted to go check out the church.
Yeah, definitely we need to make this suss out.
Okay.
Where is that at?
Literally at the other end of town.
I mean, why wouldn't it be at the other?
Funny thing is, it actually is. You make your way up towards the main road and begin the long trek down the far side. You pass people as you go. The Verosians all have that same stupid smile on their faces as they pass you. All of them glance at you and do that stare for a moment, then hurry onward, not really wanting to talk or bother with a group of strangers wandering about their town. You pass the inn and continue on until you see that tall building that kind of reminds you a little bit of the church you had been at in Jova. As you approach, you can see that this slouching, centuries-old church has a bulging steeple in the back and walls lined with cracked, stained glass windows, depicting a pious-looking saint. There is a fence of wrought iron that encloses a garden of gravestones next to the church. As you get near that fence, you can see that there is a thin layer of mist that just kind of hangs over the grass and the graves. The door to the church is open, and there seems to be lights on the inside, though it is still day. You can certainly see the warm glow of the church ahead of you. Walking inside, you see that the room is, the main common room of the church is mostly empty. There are 2 young men, both of whom are wearing pale reddish robes with a white inlay. The 2 of them are scrubbing the what's the word I'm looking for? Not bleachers, the benches, the pews. Thank you. The 2 of them are working together, polishing the pews. There's a smell of like safflower oil that kind of hangs about the church a little bit. The 2 boys look up at your group as you're walking in. The elder of the 2 nudges the younger as you're starting to make your way in, and the younger goes scurrying off back towards the back area, towards the rectory. He goes through an open door and disappears beyond. What do you all do?
Should we go in there and talk to some people?
I mean, I guess. I mean, who was it who said that? Do we know who we need to talk to about
I would guess
taking in the kids?
the father or the patriarch of the church.
Yeah, Danika
Whatever.
had mentioned Father Petrovich.
I mean, I guess we should start there.
Right?
Well, a few moments later, as you're standing there kind of thinking about what you need to do, you do see a tall, middle-aged man. He has sandy brown hair, bright blue eyes. He's wearing your usual cleric's vestments, and he has a small medallion around his neck that depicts a bright sun over some mountains. He is flanked by that same young man who is kind of walking behind him and is carrying what appears to be a large book. The child walks over to the actual altar and places it down there and moves away as the middle-aged man in vestments approach you. He says, "Ah, yes. Welcome to the Temple of St. Andrew. My name is Father Petrovich. You are all welcome here. May I pray with you, or..." And then he notices Danika there, and he says, "Ah, Danika. It's nice to see you again. I'm pleased you made your way back here. And who are the rest of you, if I may ask?"
I'm Delphine.
I gotta tip my hat. Name's Vide.
Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Your friend tells me that you are all travelers, adventurers. Do you plan on staying in Veros long?
I think a couple of days. Right?
Only as long as we need to.
He looks back amongst you and then over to the two young men. And he says to them, "Boys, please excuse me for a moment. I wish to speak with these travelers alone." The two young men look to one another and back to the father and kind of say, "Yes, Father. Of course, we'll be right outside." And the two of them make their way out of the chapel, closing the doors behind them. The father turns back to your group and he says, "Your friend mentioned last night that you have some young ones traveling with you. Traveling a journey that may not necessarily be safe."
That would be correct.
St. Andrew's here has a long and noble history of providing sanctuary to any and all who request it. These days, we don't have many who stay with us, but we do operate the orphanage here, and young Milivaj and Rikan both reside here along with me. If you have some you wish to leave, we do accept all. However, there is an issue that I thought perhaps a group of adventurers such as yourself could help me with.
Go on.
You see, the church here at St. Andrew, it has always been a safe haven for one very important reason. This place was consecrated by the great saints long, long ago, and has been a bastion of hope and safety. Unfortunately, that safety is no longer secure. I'm afraid that the protection of the church here was removed.
Who would do such a thing?
I wish I knew. I truly wish I knew. I woke up the day before yesterday with the oddest sensation I'd ever felt. When I went and looked down in the crypt, I discovered that the bones of Saint Andrel, which had been interred here for almost 1,000 years, was gone. The bones of Saint Andrel were a relic kept here, and I believe was the source of the protection. This place was once safeguarded against all manner of undead. Now I fear, with the bones missing, that protection is gone. When your friend mentioned that you had some with you who might need sanctuary, and that you are all travelers and adventurers yourselves, I thought to myself that this was an opportunity sent by the Dawn Father himself. If you could find the bones and return them to me here, I could reconsecrate these grounds. And then no undead would be able to step foot amongst the grave and the church here.
Do you know if there's anybody has anybody ever threatened the church before? Like
No.
in town or even out of town?
No, none. And no one, save for myself, and, well, the boys who live here with me know of the bones at all. It is not something I speak about to the congregation.
And the boys, I mean, they're all here right now?
They were here. I sent them outside to speak to you. Milivaj and Rakan are the names.
You wouldn't, I mean, now this is just outsider. I do not know these boys or yourself. Would anything have happened that the boys might have said something to someone outside? Could they have been pressured by somebody in town or a stranger passing through and could have told about the bones?
When I questioned them both, they assured me that they have spoken about the bones to no one.
Mm-hmm.
As a priest, I must believe them, but I thought perhaps if some who were not of this area were to question them, perhaps they might be a little more forthright.
Yeah. I mean, we could speak with them, give it a shot. Because that, I mean, other than, investigating where the I mean, we can look for clues where they were, but we really need to have something to go on to be able to find them, because they could be anywhere.
It could be, especially in an area that we're not familiar with.
When I examined the area where the bones were interred, I found a few items that confused me. You see, the bones were kept in a locked crypt, a locked coffin, inside the inside their internment chamber. When I examined it, the box was open, Underneath the coffin, I discovered a fish hook. No one has been down there except for me. And I
We
do not
passed a
fish.
fisherman earlier today.
We did.
You speak of Brakos. He is the fisherman here in town.
I mean, we didn't stop and talk. We just saw him.
Brakos is not a pious man. I've spent many years attempting to get him to come to the church. And when I found the fish hook, that was the first thing that came to my mind as well. I also found a bit of burlap twine.
Burlap twine.
I found that wedged between a pair of stone in the wall.
Like a piece of a sack?
That was my thought as well.
You said it was wedged between pieces, like a hole in the
Like-
wall?
Like imagine if there's two bricks that are side by side and a piece of twine was stuck between them.
Mm.
Kind of like that.
Wonder what that could have been.
Probably the sack they put the bones in.
Yeah, but why
Or
would it?
the
Why
wall.
would there? Yeah, but I mean, why would there be twine in that hole? That little
I
slot.
mean, if they brushed up against the wall and snagged the bag on the wall a little bit.
Perhaps. Well, we could
Is
try
there
to
any
talk.
chance we could go look at it and see if maybe we can see anything else?
Let's talk to the boys too
Well, there-
first.
Well, go ahead, Vide, and make a persuasion check, asking if you can check out the location the bones were.
That's a 2. That would probably be a no.
Can I assist me? Can I assist?
Go for it. How do you assist?
Well, Pastor, I would really appreciate it if we could check out the area. Kind of, sometimes seeing is believing. So I know you told us what you saw, but sometimes we can see things in another light.
Go ahead and give me that persuasion check.
Are you?
I got an 11, which is basically an 18. But it would have been, we just got 2 nat 1s in a row.
Yeah.
We're gonna die at the festival.
Probably.
The priest says that it is a difficult request. I suppose as long as you don't touch anything, I will take you down.
And then the boys. You said he sent them out, or are they here in the room with us? Or
Yeah, no, you watched them. They left.
Alright.
They
Alright.
left the chapel and closed the doors behind.
Okay. We'll talk. I guess we'll look at the area and then we'll talk with the boys. See if maybe, there's something that they said unwittingly without even
Realizing they said anything.
devious people. They can trick, they can bamboozle the mind.
The priest leads you into the back area of the chapel. There is a set of stone stairs going down that he leads you into. You go through a stone doorway that leads to a long hallway that goes underneath the church itself. Inside, you find, in the very first room, just a big, wide open space, there is a stone sarcophagus in the center of the room. The thing is completely open on the top, and the slab has been pushed to one side, halfway hanging off of the edge of it. And inside there is a long, very ornate-looking coffin. It's made of wood. It's gilded with gold. There is a padlock inset on it. The lid is open. And the father walks over to it and lifts it up, and you can see, sure enough, there is like an old, very, very old cushion on the bottom of this casket, but nothing else. Clearly where the bones had been previously laying. I imagine you're all wanting to investigate the area, so give me an investigation check. Somebody.
Can I just use my nat 20 and get a 24?
Go for it.
Okay. I'm using my nat 20. I got a 24. I definitely rolled that nat 20.
It's like the priest had described. He shows you the fish hook that he found. He shows you the piece of burlap twine where it was caught on the stone. You begin to examine the area around the casket, inside of it. You ask the priest to lift up the cushion, and you kind of look around, and you do find underneath the cushion, kind of wedged there, a very small scrap of paper. The paper has two parts of a word that you can't, like, it's the end of one word and there's like the beginning of another word, but you're not quite sure what they are. But in the middle of them, there is clearly a word written out that says caskets.
I'm going to show it to the priest and ask if that, if that makes any sense to him, if that rings a bell to him.
He examines the piece of paper and he says, well, we do have a cemetery here. Caskets do come to us quite often for burial. The local casket maker is not terribly far from, well, it's actually, I think it's on the other side of town now, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it is. There is a casket maker here in town. His shop is over at the stockade across from the general goods store. But I haven't seen him in some time. Usually, if there's a body who dies, if somebody dies, the casket maker brings the casket to their house. And I usually send somebody to retrieve it.
Would this casket maker, would he know that that these bones were down here?
He kind of thinks to himself, oh, Henrik, no. Henrik is not a pious man either, to be honest. I've never been able to get him to come into church. Although I do business with him regularly, he prefers to stay away from the gods and focuses instead on his own business. I've never spoken to him about the bones or anything like that.
Hey. I mean, there's not a whole lot to go on as to who took the bones.
Yeah, there really isn't.
Indeed, which is why this issue has perplexed me.
Perhaps we do need to speak to the boys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the bones couldn't have just got up and walked away themselves, could they have?
I mean, from what we've seen, it wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, the bones have been interred here for close to 1,000 years. It would be a very large surprise to see them get up and walk away. I certainly hope that does not happen, but then again, that would be a miraculous sign indeed. But
maybe we should go talk to these boys. Maybe, I don't know. I could do a detect magic, but I don't think anything in here is gonna give anything off.
No, yeah, I think you're right. We probably should talk to the boys.
Okay. The priest leads you back upstairs out from the crypt. He tells you chances are the boys are in the cemetery. They would not have gone far. They know they have their chores they must finish before dinner time. I think perhaps I will leave the questioning to you. You never know, they might say something to you that they wouldn't say in my presence.
I guess should we go speak to them out in the cemetery, or do you have just bring them in here to the church, or?
Well, that's what he had said. He said that he was going to leave it to you.
I mean, if people don't know about them,
about the bones,
then then we should probably find like an office or like
a private spot.
Yeah.
Well, are there people around the cemetery? What if it's just like no one around?
I mean, it's still out. Well, like, what's his name? His brain is blinking.
Who?
The carnival guy.
Rictavia.
Like he said, there are eyes and ears all over this place.
Yeah. So perhaps inside. Somewhere inside the church. Not out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want the priest to bring the kids inside, or are you wanting to talk to them outside?
We want them inside.
Just because, yeah.
Okay.
You can control who's inside.
Very well. I will lead you into my office. The office is small. It's not very large at all. It has a simple desk and a bookshelf behind with only a couple books on it and a few knickknacks, that sort of thing. And he brings in a few extra stools for you all to sit down in and tells you that he will go get the boys. Just wait a moment. About 5.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say Danika nudges Cog and she cracks her knuckles. Well, let's get this interrogation underway.
I will leave that to you. That seems like your expertise, Danika.
Well, I don't know if I'm the most eloquent, but
guarantee you got the best charisma of the group.
I might have the best charisma, but I'm basically like, did you do it? Did you? Go on, get the kids, Matt. Get the kids.
I mean, if you're sure. Anyway, the kids are gotten. The priest heads out. He's gone for about 5 minutes, and then he arrives with the 2 boys in tow. The 2 children, the elder of the 2, he looks to be about maybe 15, 16-ish. He's tall. He's skinny. He's got a little bit of hair on his upper lip. The hair on top of his head is shaggy. He's your typical foppish teenager. The younger one looks maybe 10, 11-ish. Bright blue eyes, dark brown hair, freckles, the whole shebang. If you've ever been to a Catholic church and you've seen a couple altar boys running around, that's what these kids look like.
Okay.
They both have guilty expressions on their face.
Oh no!
Of course.
I mean, what do you expect from a couple kids that have been told that some people want to speak to you by the guy looking out for them? The priest says, Now, boys, I would like to introduce you all to these adventurers. They come from out of town, and they just are assisting me in a sensitive and important manner. I would like you to answer their questions honestly. And then he sits the two boys down and says, I will be just out in the rectory. If you have any needs, don't hesitate to call. And he exits the room. You're left with these two teenage boys or younger who are just kind of staring at your group. You're armed, you're armored, you're intimidating. What do you say to these kids?
Hey, kiddos.
Yeah. Now, which one of you is Sauvage and which one is Rickon?
The younger of the two raises his hands. I am Rickon.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know if you can guess why we're here. But the father did say that something recently went missing from the church. Do you know what we're talking about?
The two boys look to one another and then look back at you, and they say, the younger of the two, Rickon, says, yeah, Father said that the bones of St. Andrel are missing.
All right, that's correct. We've seen the crypt. We know that they are in fact gone, and that unfortunately leaves, kind of leaves the church unprotected, doesn't it?
The children kind of look to one another, and Father said something about that.
Have you boys ever been outside of Veros?
They
know?
both shake their head. No, it's much too dangerous outside. This is Milivage.
Yeah, it is quite dangerous outside. I obviously, if you've been around town, you've seen the heads of the wolves on spikes.
Oh yeah, that was from the festival last week.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. Do you know what an undead creature looks like?
The two children both shake their heads in unison.
Have you ever participated in any of the burials with the father? Have you seen any of the body?
Milivage speaks up. Yes, I am the one who digs the graves here. I've seen bodies before.
All right. Well, now imagine that those bodies are no longer lying still. They're up, they're walking, and they are very interested to get to know you, but not on a personal level. They kind of want to eat you.
Make for me an intimidation check.
Good old +1 coming here, but 12. I mean, it's not horrible.
It's not
They
horrible.
are just children.
Yeah.
You just told them things are gonna eat them.
Yeah,
Now-
and the younger of the two, Rickon, like kind of shies back away from you a little bit. Milivaj puts a hand on the youth's shoulder and says, "He is just trying to scare you.
Oh,
Don't be intimidated."
I don't think I have to try to scare you in Barovia. I think Barovia is scary enough on its own. I'm just trying to tell you the facts. That all of the wonderful people that come into this church are now in grave, grave danger. Not just actually the church, but the entire town. Because this is really kind of the one spot that's truly protected. Now, I'm not saying you did anything maliciously, and you did this as any kind of way to hurt the church. It could have been just an accident slip of the tongue. Has there been any new people around the church recently talking you up, making conversation? Maybe some other new people that appeared to be children, but maybe they weren't. Maybe they were kind of my size. I mean, I'm 118 years old, but I'm your size. So age is a very misunderstood thing. They may have been adults deceiving you. Have either of you had any conversations with anyone about anything that goes on inside the church that you thought was an innocent conversation with somebody new?
They both kind of look to one another and shake their heads together. No, we do not talk to anybody about the church.
What about the captain of the guard, the sheriff? Big guy, red arm, really hard to miss. Has he been around? Of course, he wants everybody to smile.
Rickon speaks up. The sheriff has been hanging around outside the church the last few days, maybe about a week or so.
Was that unusual? Did he not spend time around the church before?
Rickon shakes his head. No, he has never gone to church. He's always scowling and being mean to people. I see him sometimes yelling at people in the street and dragging them off with his guard, but he never comes in here. The father says the Baron won't let him.
Yeah, it's ironic that there's laws about smiling, isn't it? Huh. So interesting. So you say the sheriff's been here a lot. Has there been other people lurking around that maybe look a little shifty, a little, out of place around the church?
The two of them kind of try to think for a little bit longer, and then they both eventually shake their head.
And nobody's tried to talk to you, make conversation?
I mean, we talk to people as they come in. We have to do our jobs, but
And nobody asking anything about the church at all? Like, how about the father, about the people who stay here? Anything, really, anything at all. It may seem completely trivial to you, but it might be very important. Has anybody been asking questions lately?
the two of them look to one another again, and then Milivaj says, "No, nobody has asked us weird questions."
All right. Now I stab him. No, anybody else want to ask a question? Cog's getting nowhere. He's got something. The sheriff's been around. So that's definitely we all know we're probably going to have to fight the sheriff at some point, right?
Yeah.
All right. You know what? Actually, one request. The lady is it Wachter or Watcher?
Watcher.
Lady Watcher, has she or any of her, I know she has a pair of loud and boisterous sons. Have any of them been in the church lately? Do they come enjoy the mass?
Milivaj shakes his head. No, she and her
Okay.
sons have never come to church, as far as I know.
All right. You know, the father mentioned finding a fish hook near the crypt. Besides the one, I don't remember what the gentleman started with a B. Bastion? The guy, the fisherman guy. It's like, have you noticed anybody else that seems to... Anybody coming to church lately that's new? How about that? Besides us, obviously, but anybody new in the church?
There's not a lot of people who come to Veros, so only the people in town come here usually.
Alright, so no one new. The sheriff's been spending a lot of time lately. No one's asking questions, right?
What about, are there any other kids you play with here at the church?
There are some kids who come in, and when the families come in, and we see them every so often. Sometimes they come and they play with us in our rooms here.
Yeah, well, you ever play with kids and play like hide and go seek and accidentally, I don't know, maybe sneak by the crypt or show it to anybody?
Both boys shake their heads. No, the father does not allow us to play hide and seek, or does not let anybody go down in the crypt without him.
I feel like we got at least one good piece. Delphine, did you have any ideas, any questions you want to ask the boys?
I mean, from what little they give us, my only assumption is that one of them did it.
Are you saying this in front of them?
Absolutely. Delphine doesn't do people. Why do you think I don't ask questions that I think I have to make a charisma check?
Fair enough. Both of the kids, when you say that, their like eyes go wide, and they're like, "No, we did not do anything. I swear we do not do anything."
Do any of these kids look kind of shifty about it? Like they're worried?
Yeah.
Can I do an insight check?
That was a really quick, like, no, we didn't do anything.
Yeah, any insight checks we could do?
Sure, go for it. Make those insight checks.
Okay.
How about a dirty 20?
I had a 12, 14.
Yeah, 20.
I got a 5.
13.
Vide's our only hope.
So,
Vide's our only hope.
Vide, as you've been listening to this conversation, you really haven't been saying a whole hell of a lot. You've just been sitting in the back watching them. When Cog mentioned the fisherman, you did notice that the elder of the two boys, Milivaj, his eyes kind of went wide a little bit, and then when they said no, we didn't do anything, they definitely believed it. They definitely were being honest that they didn't do anything with the bones. But you could also see a little bit of that shift in the eye from Milivaj, and there's definitely something that he's holding back.
Yeah, so I do believe you didn't do anything, but I believe you know a little bit more than you're telling us. It would be a great help to everybody, really, if you would just be honest with us.
You can make an intimidation or a persuasion check, depending on how you feel like you're approaching this.
Okay, well, I get the same either way, so I'm just going to intimidate. That's a 7. That don't work.
Yeah, the Milivaj just kind of like, I don't know what you mean. I don't know anything.
Danika is gonna crack her knuckles.
Put the fear
Danika's
card
gonna
in
crack
him.
her knuckles, and she's gonna be like, Do you really not know anything?
Oh my god. Oh shit.
Natural 20! I did not
27.
mean to literally put the fear of God into these kids.
No, but you definitely did, and you watch as Milivaj like shrinks back a little bit, and his pants get a little bit wet.
Oh my god.
What?
You see tears beginning to form in his eyes, puppy dog tears that just start streaming down his cheeks as he begins to just bawl. I didn't mean to do anything. I didn't think anything was going to happen. I was just trying to help. And he's just bawling. Even like Rickon is like taking aback and is staring at the older boy like, what the fuck?
It's okay, buddy. It's okay. The nice, pretty, blonde woman. Really, how are you intimidating? Is not going to hurt you. I promise.
But her hand is on her rapier. She's going to stab me.
You know, it's really funny. She doesn't really use it very well. I mean, he's gonna like cower from her a little bit. He's like, she's more better with her words than she is with her sword. Obviously, you know, we've already shown that. But I promise, as a man of faith, I don't follow the Morning Lord, but I follow a deity of my own. I promise I will not let her harm you. But we need to know. We need to know what happened. We understand you didn't mean to do it. I promise you will not be punished for that. But it is very, very important we understand what happened.
Through tears and sobbing that I'm not going to voice act because it makes my microphone peak really bad, you basically get this story.
I could drop into the calm emotions if that helps.
If you want to, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, is he gonna roll against it? If you want, I mean, it's a 15.
I mean, they're commoners.
Yeah, it's just to help calm the kid down. He's just soothing. He's good cop. She's bad cop.
Sure.
Son of a whore.
Wow.
All right, he keeps crying, but Cock tried.
Yeah, he definitely keeps crying. But you do eventually get the story out of him. According to Milivaj, he was approached by the coffin maker, a man whose name I've mentioned before, but I will do so again.
Yeah, I think you just mentioned
his name is Henrik Vandervoort.
Yeah.
Which I will post that for you right now.
Yeah, thank you. I'm assuming it's
Henrik.
Yeah, there.
I will get yelled at if I forget that name.
Henrik apparently approached the young boy and told him that he had heard about a special set of bones being kept in the church, that a very important individual needs a special set of bones for a ritual that they are performing to help the town, or some such as that. And he would pay Milivaj a sum of 50 gold coins for a special set of bones, if the church has one like that. Milivaj tells you all that while the church is kind of the center of a lot of people's faith, they don't have a whole lot of money, and their meals tend to be very, very scant and very, very minuscule. And an extra 50 gold pieces would keep them fed pretty decently for a good long time. So he was like, what does it matter? It's just a set of old bones. He can give them to the guy for his buyer, and they'd have enough food for a while. No harm, no foul. So he purchased some supplies, a burlap sack from the general goods store, some fish hooks from the fisherman, and snuck down one night to managed to pick the lock and secure the bones. He gave them to Henrik, and Henrik paid him, and Milivaj put the 50 gold in the donation box, which was, of course, found, and the father was overjoyed by this extra amount of wealth, and so he thought, nothing bad would happen. Until the next day when the priest realized it was gone and started asking. And in the end, the kid's just kind of crying and says to you, I was just trying to help. I just wanted us to have more than just barley and gruel all the time.
It's perfectly understandable, buddy. I don't worry, you're not in trouble. The mean blonde lady is going to hurt you, I promise. And I'm also going to make sure that this Henrik, you'll never have to worry about him again. He's not going to hurt you either. I mean, he'll never know you told us. I promise. I have a feeling you said this ritual that they needed it for. Well, they're doing something in a day, aren't they? Big festival. Supposed to light up the sun permanently in town. I think the Baron took the bones. I think the Baron's going to burn them in his little ceremony. So what I need just from you, just stay inside for the next couple days. Don't talk to anybody else except for the father. As again, you are not in trouble. And he would never punish you either. He's a good man, I can tell that. And your God, I promise the Dawn Father is not upset either. The gods, they look at us as we're fallible creatures. You know what fallible means? It means we make mistakes. We lie, we cheat, we steal, but we have good hearts, but we make mistakes. And we're forgiven for those mistakes, aren't we?
The both boys nod.
So yeah, don't worry. I'm so sorry that we scared you. I didn't mean to scare you with my story about the undead, but they are a really big problem here in Barovia. That's why we need to get the bones. But I think the next couple days could be very chaotic in town. So as I said, I want you to stay inside with the father. Do not go outside again. You're safe in here. He can protect you to a degree, and we will be nearby. But you need to stay inside. Things are gonna get a little wonky, goofy the next couple days. Okay?
Both boys nod. Okay, we will stay inside.
We actually might be bringing by a couple of young friends of ours. While these things are going on in town, you got two young boys and a young girl. I'd appreciate if you guys could look after them.
I mean, you don't have to make a persuasion check. You've already scared the shit out of these groups.
No,
they're like, okay.
Cog is asking.
I meant the group as a whole.
Cog, that one, and he just points to the pretty blonde one. No one, yeah, you know what? That we should have known that the pretty blonde one. I mean, we all saw Brittany after she shaved her head when she was chasing. We know what the pretty blonde ones can do. Anyway, I don't know why that was the first pretty blonde crazy person that came to my head. But he's like, yeah, so we're going to talk to the father now. You guys, very sorry she scared you, but you're going to be okay. He's just going to pat the young boy's hand. He goes, we're going to take care of it.
Yeah, the boys kind of nod. The one's still crying, but
If Danika even starts talking, you've done
what were you
enough.
about to say, Danika?
Danika slowly takes her hand off her rapier.
God damn it. But yeah, you guys just sit tight. We're gonna go talk to the father now.
The boys remain seated where they are as the four of you file out and head out of the back office. The father, yeah,
Oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Danika nudges Cog, and she goes, "See, I told you I had it handled."
Oh, you handled it all right. Yeah, wherever the father is, we'll go and find him if he's not nearby.
Yeah, the father is in the chapel itself. He's sitting on one of the pews waiting for you all. He stands up as you come out from the back rectory, and he smiles and says, "So, how did it go?"
Well, all right. I want to personally just apologize. They got a little scared from misconstrued some motions by my friend here. Everything's fine. Nobody's hurt. We're all good. But we did find out a couple pieces of information. One, he said the sheriff has been spending quite a bit of time outside the church lately. Like stalking around, scaring people, dragging people off, like around the church. And then Milivage, good intentioned, but he did make a mistake. He said the coffin maker, Henrik, had inquired about a special set of bones he heard rumors of at the church. And he said he had a good friend that needed them for a very special spell or ritual that was going to help the town. And he paid young Milivage 50 gold to go get the bones. Milivage did not understand the importance of them. And that was where that, I guess he said there was, he put it in the collection plate for the church. That's where that money came from.
You see the priest kind of like sink down onto the pew. He puts his hand in his head. He's just rubbing his forehead a little bit. He's definitely distraught by this news.
Understandable. He made a mistake. He didn't understand they're important. But I have a feeling I know who has them and why. The sheriff has been spending a lot of time around the church. The coffin maker paid for the bones for a ritual to take place. And there is a big festival being put on by the Baron in just over a day that's supposed to bring the light to the whole town. I mean, I think you gave us
There's a flyer,
handout.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the greatest celebration of the year, the Festival of the Blazing Sun. All will be well.
The priest takes the flyer and looks at it and says, "And you believe the Baron had the bones stolen for this?"
The sheriff mentioned that it was supposed to be a beacon of light that was going to save the town forever after, banishing the darkness that's kind of really over all of Barovia. But it's gonna protect Veros and be, like I said, like a beacon of light shining, over the town for all time. I think he took those bones, and I think he's gonna somehow they're gonna get into that the little wooden contraption they're building out there, the little pyre with the big ball on top. I think he's gonna use those bones somehow. I don't know. I can't imagine what ritual he's gonna think he's gonna use them for. I mean, there are all kinds of manners of spells that use all kinds of manner of components. My friend, over here.
There is an easy way to find out what ritual they plan on doing.
We might even be able to find the bones pretty quickly, because Yeah, we get.
What did this happen yesterday?
Day
2
before.
days ago?
Yeah.
Day before. I mean, we can just use Danika here and go have a chat with Henrik.
Well, we're gonna talk to Henrik, all right.
Then we'll know
And-
for sure.
But I want you to be prepared, because things are gonna. If the Baron is the one behind them, and he's got his thugs and the sheriff constantly arresting people, things are gonna have to. We aren't from your town, but we're willing to protect it. But I think things are going to come to a head, and unfortunately, blood probably will be shed.
The priest kind of sighs a little bit. He says, "Oh, Vargas, what have you been doing?" The Baron has been putting on festivals for years.
Nothing like this one, though?
It's hard to judge. Last week he had a festival where he brought in a bunch of wolf heads and posted them up on stakes all throughout town. He called it the Wolf's Head Jamboree, and said that it would keep the town safe from vampires, or not from vampires, from werewolves. I've known the man for years. He's been the Baron here for 35 years. And while I admit he's always been a bit eccentric, his festivals have gotten stranger and stranger and more frequent as the years go by. He seems to... He insists that continuing to do these festivals is what protects the town. I've often warned him that correlation does not equal causation. And just because he continues to hold these festivals, that doesn't necessarily mean the town is safe.
Absolutely not.
He's always laughed at me and told me that I prefer the safety and sanctity of my church, and refuse to acknowledge the realities of the world around us, but I never thought he would stoop to such a level of madness. He shakes his head and says, Henrik's shop, as I said before, is at the other side of town, in the stockyard. We're just off of it. Hopefully he still has the bones. Or if nothing else, he can tell you for sure if the Baron is the one who took them, and if so, where he has them.
Another thing, what do you know of this Lady Watcher? We understand she speaks out against the Baron quite often.
He nods his head at that and says, she does indeed. Lady Watcher is a somewhat popular woman here among town. She has many friends. It's well known that she regularly meets with the most influential amongst our town, has regular dinners with them, has her own book club that meets together. She often speaks out against the Baron's policies. She often has been heard saying by many people who come to this church that she would make a much better leader than the Baron would. But she has never moved against him. Although I must admit that the Baron's actions must seem strange to people like yourselves.
Oh.
The fact of the matter is, he is a very much respected leader. He is well liked by the people. and whom enjoy his many, many festivals. Although I suspect they enjoy the free wine more so than anything else.
I mean, how have these laws to always be smiling or be locked up treated how he's thought of in town?
At first, they were well received. As the years go by, many find it hard to maintain that level of sincere happiness. Which is why I've provided my church as a sanctuary for those who need to deal with their emotions and let them out in a safe and constructive place.
Well, we'll have to speak hopefully to Lady Wachters or Watcher as well, because if we are to unfortunately have to move against the Baron on this, we're going to need help, I assume. So I've instructed the boys to stay inside for the next day or so, to not leave. If we could bring our young companion here, because if things get a little rough in town, when we get the bones back, we can't have children in tow.
If you are able to return the bones here, so that I may consecrate the grounds, your children and you amongst them will have a welcome home here at St. Andrews. You have my word.
Well, if we can, while we're investigating, like over the, probably maybe sometime tomorrow, if we can bring them by before we make our move to, I hope not have to go against the Baron. Maybe we can intercept the bones before then. But if we can bring them there in the meantime, this is probably the safest place for them, if something goes on. If that's okay with you.
We are in agreement.
And I know he made a mistake. Please don't think too roughly of, he understands now that his choice, while good intentioned, wasn't the most safe and protective choice for the trip.
The priest smiles and says, I will give him some time. We will speak on the matter. I love him like a son. I don't hold against him his noble action, his noble intentions, whatever the actions may have led to. I think I shall go start up dinner and let the boys have their time alone. Please, the moment you find the bones, bring them here.
Absolutely.
The sooner they are returned, the safer I think we all shall be.
It will be done.
You and the priest part ways, your group heading back out of the church with a new destination in mind. The Coffin Makers. And I think we will continue things next time here on Sonnet of Blood. Well done, everybody. You've made it yet another session without dying. That's always a good thing. Got some more information, and you have kind of, it sounds like you have a target in mind now. So
Swear, the D&D women in my life making my first. Alyssa sends us off into space. Check out Mondays. Aether Shanties for that.
Mm.
And now, oh.
Well.
You don't even have to do much. You've made a child piss his pants.
crack your knuckles.
Yeah. Just crack your knuckles and look intimidating, and that's all it took.
I'm just so happy I intimidated somebody.
Well, thank you to everyone who watched this evening. We very much appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with us. Come back in 2 weeks to find out what the Conclave expedition gets into once they go to confront Henrik, this apparent coffin maker. It should be interesting. Now, as always, we go around the table and have everyone tell us who they are and where we can find them on the internet. And Brandie, since you're the one who did the recap, why don't you go first?
Yeah, so I'm Brandie. You can find me here every other Wednesday on Curse of Strahd, and the opposite Mondays on the Aether Tech Wars as Maiko, the dancing child, who is currently Maiko, the sleeping child right now. We'll see how she talks her way out of the little incident. A little predicament she's in right now. You can also find me on all the socials as at River Dragon 82. That's River with a Y, Dragon 82.
Right on. Joe, you're next.
Well, besides Corwan keeping things together, Goodwood, here at Curse of Strahd, on the same Monday, 2 days ago Monday, it'll be in 2 weeks again. I am Zolos Vonneguth, Aether Shanties. We just found a ship we didn't know. It's a spell jammer, but it's a spell. And now we're off in space and we have no idea how to operate said ship. So we're literally up shit creek and we don't know how to use the paddle. So that's pretty much where we are. But I am on X, Twitter, Blood from Stone. If you want to go fight conservatives with me, come on and join.
Natalie, you're next.
I'm Natalie, and you can find me here on Curse of Strahd every 2 weeks, making kids piss themselves.
At least it wasn't a code brown.
True.
That's always good.
That's true. At least it's not a code brown.
That's
Listen,
true.
we switched it up a little bit. It was, first it was my boots, now it's goodness. But yeah, you can find me here on Random Rhapsody.
Doing the Lord's work.
Oh.
Dyto, you're next.
Hello, I'm Dyto. You can find me here every other Wednesday and with Brandie again on alternating Mondays. I'm not asleep, but I did get caught reading smut with another party member in somebody else's house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can also find me over on The Lost Caravan. I'm not doing too much until the end of April. But yeah, those are the two places that I mainly hang out.
Right on. Well, as always, I am Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and game master here on the network. You can find me here every Monday and Wednesday running games for these wacky players. And other than that, you can find me at least once every month over on All on the Table TTRPG. They're a group that's in association with the Transverse, promoting trans rights and playing in trans space safe spaces for TTRPGs. You can also occasionally find me over on Lost Caravan, on the Bard Rock Network, and on a lot of other places. So just follow me on the socials and you'll know where I'm at. So, on behalf of everyone here in the Sonnet of Blood and everyone in the Random Rhapsody crew, I just want to say, thank you, folks. It's been a delight. So long. Good luck. And until next time, May you
May
live
you live
till you die.
till you die.
Good night, everybody.